Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival, all of my favorite gremlins. Yeah, you're my favorite gremlins because you're here. That's the only reason. So, yeah. How's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day so far. I'm having some coffee. I just posted a video link in the chat there that I think everyone needs to see. I think it's very important that everyone see that particular video. So when you have a moment, or if you have one now, go for it. I'll wait for you. I really will. It's only a couple of minutes long, but I really do believe everybody should see that video. I'm going to go ahead and post a link to it one more time, just because it's really important that everyone see it. And yeah. All right. Yeah, I had to click the mute button. yeah, that's really. I couldn't help it. I had to do it. That's just too funny. So, I amuse me. I really do. Hutch has been picking on me, so I figured I'd get him back. But anyway, the topics of the day. I am going to talk about school systems. School systems. I am. A little bit later, I'll talk about the Bug Out Network. We did have a meeting last night, or the Bug Out Railroad. I'm not going to go into like the too many details on the meeting itself because, yeah, it was a lot of setup type information, which was quite boring. But we did go over some of the long-term goals, and I want to discuss that with you guys just to see what you think about it. One thing that I've been hearing is we should have a prepper convention. So PrepperCon 2021, anybody? I mean, let me know what you think on that. Prepper convention. I don't know if we can still do those kinds of things with all the craziness in the world, but hey, Prepper convention sounds fun. I'm not sure even how to set one of those up, but we'll figure it out if it's a thing. Good morning, Klinger. Christy, how's it going? I like seeing all those green names with those little gremlins by them. That's just awesome. If anybody wants to be an elite gremlin, that's what I call them. Join the gremlin pack. There's a join button somewhere. Somewhere. So, yeah, that would be fun. Yeah, everybody should see that video. I'm going to post the link a couple more times before this stream is over, just so everybody can see it, because it's really important that you see that particular video that I'm sharing. So, yeah, Northern Girl Hobbies, how's it going? How's it going, everyone? So, just to get in the article I was reading, this was posted yesterday. It says thousands of Chicago teachers not heading back to classrooms following the union vote, and they will remain remote learning. So my question is, why are they trying to, why did they? I mean, because in my state, they've done it. In most other states, they put people back in, or put children back into these public school systems. And I can completely understand what's going on in the Chicago schools with the teachers. I mean, 10,000 kindergarten through 8th grade teachers and other staffers will not return to schools because, but they're trying to push them back in there anyway. Why? They're spreading so much fear about this virus with the mask mandates, the lockdowns, the fear they're pushing about this virus and the new strains that are coming out and all this other stuff that they're constantly telling us. But then on the other hand, go back to school because, apparently it's virus free in schools. It's one of the safest places, right? Right. Dusty Data, thank you. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Dusty Data wants merch. By the way, Grim's got merch. So does Gray Man. But anyway, I don't know how all that started, but it's funny. It really is. It really is funny. Angry Prepper has a good video on what he thinks about merch. You should go check that out. Somebody needs to make an Angry Prepper shirt and send it to him just because he really needs one. But going back into it, the fear they're pushing about this virus and trying to send people back or send children back to schools is just, and are sending children back to schools. I mean, how can they possibly push all this fear and then say you need to go back to public school systems with all these kids? Does anybody remember school? I mean, when you go to school, a week later, 2 weeks later, you end up with a cold, you end up with the flu, you get sick. I mean, just throwing it out there, it's like a cesspool in these places. The kids, they try to teach them social distancing, but they're kindergartners. I mean, how are you going to teach a kindergartner social distancing? Make them all hold a 6-foot stick, on either side of them, all around them, put like a 6-foot stick outfit on them so that nobody can get any closer. I mean, yeah. Does anybody remember head lice? I mean, you can't send a kid to school without them coming back with lice at least once per year, depending on the school system, I suppose, and which public school you were in. But yeah, in my school, just saying, I did attend public school as a kid. It was the most horrible experience of my life. One of the most horrible experiences of my life. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Schools are indoctrination centers. That's what they are. All they do is brainwash children into the one agenda that they're pushing on them. So schools are mandated by the federal government. Teachers are told what they can and cannot teach by the federal government. This is just how that works. This is how this has worked since, I believe, the 1950s, I believe. Schools are not allowed to teach, just openly. They have a set guideline that they have to stick to. If they don't stick to it, then they will not be teaching in that school anymore. Karen Canada, welcome to the Gremlin Pack, and thank you. Yeah, I'll have a drink of coffee on that one. We all know what happens to the cute little gremlins when we don't have coffee, right? They're not so cute no more. Just throwing that out there. But yeah, this is ridiculous with these school systems and the indoctrination centers that they are. But it's just ridiculous how the government controls them so much. Even in private school systems, they still have a government mandate on what they can and cannot teach. They've taken things like anybody who tries to say a prayer and thrown them out. You get in trouble now if you do such things. Most schools don't even recite the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. Most of them. Some of them do, depending on what area you live in. But most of them don't, especially in major cities. They are just teaching children to be, mindless drones. That's really what they do. That's just what they do. And yeah, my children are homeschooled. We won't send them to my kids will step into a public school over my cold, dead body and not 1 minute before. So yeah, that's just that. But going back into the ridiculousness of schools, Washington State is trying to pass a bill that, and I don't know if it's passed or not, and I know several other states are doing this, but I'm just going to focus on Washington State right now because they're the ones I heard about last. They are trying to pass a bill to allow anyone 13 and older to make their own medical decisions when it comes to being in school. Medical decisions that include abortion, that include taking their shot, and any other shot that they might push on people. There's various other things that they're trying to allow 13-year-olds to do in these schools. And, the hair sniffers already passed a mandate letting absolutely anybody into the military who wants to go. That's going into the transgender thing that Trump had blocked. Yeah, he blocked it. But now, a guy dressed like a girl can go and join the military, which, I don't see the difference there because they're going to put him in a uniform anyway. But, this is going to cause problems because there's already issues in military when it comes to male and female being together in that kind of environment. That's why they separate them. And now you're going to have some female that looks like a dude in the showers with all the dudes. And I mean, you're just asking for trouble. You're just asking for trouble. So that being said, they are also trying to do this exact same thing in the public school systems. They are trying to make it so locker rooms are open to whatever gender you claim to be. And, as a kindergartner, you can say that you're whatever gender you are. I identify as a gremlin, or I identify as a cat, or whatever. And then you can go into any locker room you want. So what happens when you have, let's just throw out an age here, 13 to 15-year-old girls in a locker room doing whatever they do in there, because I've never been in one, and no. Anyway, I'm not going there. But anyway, what happens when you have 13 to 15-year-old girls in a locker room, and then say the 16-year-old boy that was a boy yesterday decides he's putting on a dress today and walks into the locker room with him? What do you think is going to happen in that particular situation? It's not going to be good for anybody, ever, no matter what you believe or what you identify yourself as. And I'm not here to judge you. Do whatever you want, to each his own, I always say. But my children are not going to go anywhere near a public restroom, a public locker room where some big old dude can walk in there, and just do whatever that people do. That being said, the first link in the description of all of my videos is for Grindstone Ministries. Grindstone Ministries is a rehabilitation type of system set up to help rehabilitate children who have been victims of sex trafficking. So that is just one of their goals. They have rehabilitation, housing. Anybody who's looked into this knows that most of these people, or most of these children that have been victims of this, commit suicide shortly thereafter, either while it's happening to them or if they manage to escape this shortly after. So this system is set up to help these children that need help. They really do. So Grindstone Ministries, link in the description. They are about halfway to their goal of getting a piece of property where they can set up facilities. They do work with other places that have facilities currently, and they are, trying to set up their own facility. So yeah, if you guys want to help Grindstone Ministries, I think it's an awesome cause. Check out the link in the description. This is all done by Bear Independent. If you go over and check out Bear Independent, he has a lot more details on this. I believe the videos are actually posted on the Grindstone website, so you can find them there. So, mental health treatment in these local schools, public schools. One of the bills they are passing is a 13-year-old minor can refuse mental health treatment in certain states. But now with the new bill, they're trying to make it so not only can the 13-year-olds and up make whatever decision they want medically, but now they can force them to have mental health treatment, I guess is as they're putting it. So, yeah, I'm going to say this on video, and I don't really care what anybody thinks about it. My oldest carries a firearm. Yeah. Doesn't go to public school, but carries a firearm at my demand, not my request. My demand. You will do it is how that works in my house. And I don't really care what anybody thinks about it. I really don't. I just don't. And yeah, laws can just go right out the window. There is no age limit on my Second Amendment. There is no, you have to be this age listed on my Second Amendment rights. So yesterday I posted the video yesterday evening sometime. I don't remember when. I posted the video of the ammunition registration they're trying to get. Sean, my oldest, is currently 17. So yeah, and my 9-year-old soon to follow. Just saying. But anyway, I posted the ammunition registration video that they're trying to push. They push this bill on us. They're trying to make everybody register when they're buying or purchasing ammunition. They're trying to make everybody wait a 7-day waiting period for magazines and ammunition and anything semi-automatic. Yeah, they're trying to do this. So, yeah, get it while you can. I guess that's the biggest point I can make about that. Get it while you can. This is just ridiculous is what it is. So they're just infringing on everybody's rights, completely taking your rights away. That's just, it's not going to end. It's only going to get worse. I mean, the hair sniffer has been in office for a week now, and he's already trying to just destroy the Second Amendment, destroy it. And I could go on a long rant about this, but I've only slept for about 2 hours in the last 36 hours or so, and I need more coffee. So yeah, that's negating my rants. I start training, I guess you could say. Well, I did start training at around 6 years old, and not training, proper handling and shooting type of things, but training the dangers is where I always start. There are 5 rules of firearm safety. I always make my children memorize that. I also add another rule to it, which is don't touch any of mine unless I give my explicit permission to do so. I don't let them I don't hide it from children. I don't, because hiding things like that just makes them more curious and makes them want to see what it is, what it does, and go play with it. So I recommend to everybody, just don't hide it. Let them know what it is. We'll let them know how dangerous it is. I always put it in terms of you could severely hurt mommy or daddy. You don't want mommy or daddy to get a boo-boo, things like that. That's what I do with the small children. As they get older, ages around, 8 to 9 years old, then definitely we start practice things like that, starting with a BB gun and moving up to a 22 and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, with ammunition shortages and ammunition registrations, that is making that a lot more difficult. It's just a lot more difficult. So PrepperCon, we need a Prepper convention. We really do. Anybody have any ideas on how to set that up? I would definitely be open to suggestions because I think it's a great idea. Where to have it, I think probably somewhere centralized, U.S., Missouri, Arkansas, someplace in that particular area. We'll do it at Hutch's house, private property, right? Hutch, we're all coming to visit. So, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, that's how I grew up as well. I mean, when I was a young child, probably around 6, I was, taught how to do it. By the time I was 12, I had my own 22 and I was freely walking out into the woods by myself with my 22 because my parents knew I wasn't a moron. So yeah, that's just how that goes. But back into these school systems, this is getting ridiculous how they're just letting a child decide on let's just start with what I will probably end up ranting about: abortion. They're letting a child. Now, children getting pregnant is a whole other topic, but to give the child the option to kill a baby, I mean, that is what abortion is. Whether you think so or not, that is a human. It is a child. It is a baby. It has rights. It should have rights. It is completely helpless and defenseless. And you're giving, somebody who can't make a clear decision the option to kill it. I mean, where is the morality of that at all? Where is the morality of that? They're brainwashing these children. They're brainwashing them. They're getting them pregnant. And then they're telling them to kill the child without even consulting their parents. The parents are no longer in control of their children in the school systems. The kids have the right to do whatever they want in the school system, whatever they want, without the parents' knowledge or consent. Whatever happened to "it's my kid and they'll do as I say"? Whatever happened to that? Because that's how it used to be in the school systems. We're going to call your mom. No, we're not going to call your mom anymore. We're not going to call your dad and let him come in here and whoop your butt. We're just going to let you do whatever you want. Prime example of this, I have an autistic son, and when he was in whatever grade, I think it was 3rd grade, he was getting out of hand. So the teacher in the classroom gave him a stapler and sent him to the corner. We're talking about a 6-7-year-old autistic boy who cannot speak playing with a stapler in the corner. I mean, you know how many little staple marks he had on his arm? Just saying. Schools just, sending your child to school is like sending them to prison. They have the right to remain silent. They have the right to not tell you anything. That's the only right they have, because they will either remain silent or they will get in trouble for it. They take your Second Amendment rights and they make children believe that it's incredibly horrible that, your parents own any type of self-defense or firearm tools. They teach them, they question them about it. They have questionnaires. I've seen the tests. They have actual tests where you have to fill out in certain grades of school. And on the test, there is a question is, do you have firearms in your house? How many do you have? Where are they stored? I've seen these questions on these public school tests. It's just it's insanity. It's insanity. The biggest insanity is why we are still allowing it to happen. Why? I mean, I do not send my kids to public schools. I wouldn't do it. I just wouldn't do it. But where do we draw the line? Where do we just make this stop? And how? How do we make this stop? I mean, this is a larger problem, obviously, but it's starting in the school systems. The problem is they're indoctrinating these children, they're brainwashing these children, and they are going to be the next generation that, grow up, become doctors, lawyers, and politicians. And then what kind of laws are these children going to pass when they've been brainwashed their entire life by these school systems to think that firearms are bad, that children can be whatever gender they want, and they can make any kind of medical decision for themselves that they want, starting at the age of 13. I mean, what happened? What happened to this country? It's just completely gone into the trash. Uh, Klinger, I know exactly how you feel with issues with school systems and autistic children. That it's just the most horrible place to send them. They don't help whatsoever, especially, well, I don't know how it works in Australia, but I know in the United States, it's completely just like sending them to a glorified babysitter that doesn't watch them. I mean, that's the best way I can explain the special needs areas of schools in the United States, public schools, that is. It's like sending them to a babysitter that doesn't watch them. That's it. And the only reason most parents send their special needs children to these places is because they need a break for them, because the government will provide absolutely no assistance whatsoever. There are assistance programs you can sign up for. Most of them are not free. The ones that are free are completely useless. And there's waiting lists for the ones that are not free that are longer than, one side of the country to the other. There is absolutely no help for them whatsoever. Unless you have a lot of money, you cannot help these children. You have to have a lot of money to put a special needs child into the care they absolutely need. And it's a very sad thing because most of these children have, the ability to go farther in life than what they are being restricted to, especially autistic children. Most autistic children are incredibly smart. Most of them, not all, but most of them. And they are not reaching their potential because they're being held back by the school system and the government. So, yeah, and I will tell you that story as well. When he was 2 years old, he was talking normally, he was walking normally, he was doing everything normally like a normal 2-year-old does. Just before the age of 3, he got a booster shot for a vax and lost the ability to talk completely. It happened days after the booster shot. There was nothing else that could have triggered this or caused it. And that is all I have to say on that. It was definitely, without a doubt in my mind, the vax that caused it. Definitely. No doubt whatsoever. Yep, I agree. Vax are poison. The newest one, even worse than all the rest that came before it. I mean, if you look at the side effects that are happening with this new one that they're trying to force on everybody, and I'm going to continue to say force on everybody because that's exactly what it is. Whether you agree with it or not, if you look at the evidence and do your own research, you can see plainly and clearly that they are telling you that it's voluntary while they're forcing you to do it. That's exactly what's happening. And it's only going to get worse to the point to where they get sick of people like me that say, I will not comply, and start knocking on my door trying to, force the needle in my arm, which will be probably my last day here on this earth. But, that's a whole other story that you've heard me tell before. Patty B, I personally believe schools are branding stations. Too many labels put upon our children. Exactly. Branding stations. That's a good way to put it. I call them indoctrination centers, but yeah, that's a good way to put it. Branding stations. So, yeah, I'm all out of bubble gum. I like that name. I really do. Because you know what? So am I. I'm all out of it too. And I get what you're saying there. So, yeah. Bug out, junkie, we're all on the spectrum in one way or another. More than likely. More than likely. I mean, with all of the GMO foods and the chemicals that are floating around in our air, and whether you believe it or not, chemtrails and all the other crap that they just put out there, it's hard for people not to be, something here or there wrong. I mean, the only suggestion I have is put your full armor on, read your book, because it tells you how to keep yourself from these afflictions, to say, lightly. And that is my biggest suggestion there. But yeah, I could go on a complete rant just about allowing a 13-year-old to make a decision on having an abortion. That is the most ridiculous, insane, immoral, ungodly thing that I have ever heard in my entire life. And the people that are allowing this to happen just need to be strangled. Yeah. Ricky, yes, I do Bible readings every Sabbath, which is Saturday by my calendar, and then I have started posting more private Bible studies and going into it further on the chapters I read, and I post those on my Patreon, and I also started posting those to the Gremlin pack. So anybody who has joined as a membership will start seeing those links. I'll post it as a post, because I can't just lock the video, because then I wouldn't be able to post it on Patreon as well. So yeah, they are there. And I read from this book right here, the scriptures. This is my favorite one. I have several of them. I got a couple of them just sitting right here. I think there's another one over there. I got one in my vehicle. Yeah, so. Also, Ricky, if you go check my backup YouTube channel, if you scroll down in the description to the very bottom, it says Grim Survival BC backup channel is what that stands for. The only thing on that particular channel are all of my Bible readings. That's the only thing there. So it's the easiest way to find them. And I have been starting to post more videos over to Patreon. I'm thinking about doing a Patreon only live streams. Once I get that thing up to about 30 people, I will start doing that. And I think 30 is going to be where I would, consider, having enough reason to put private live streams over for Patreons. Also for the Gremlin pack and Patreon, I'm going to post open the floor basically here on the live streams on my Sunday live streams, Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to use the StreamYard platform and post the link for anybody who wants to join the StreamYard platform. And, basically I'm going to give about a 2-minute floor time to everybody. I'll have a timer sitting here. You'll have 2 minutes to say whatever, and yeah, then you get to go. But that's just to keep certain people from rambling on for an hour, because we have to give everybody a chance to say whatever it is they feel like saying on the topic of the day or just in general. So yeah. Dusty Data, you and me both. I live also by the laws of my creator and my father up there. So yeah. And, if we want to have that discussion right now, it's the book of Daniel, when it talks about the 3 men who would not bow to the king because the king was making a false idol and telling everybody to bow and worship to his statue. And the 3 guys said, nope, we're not doing that. They got thrown into the furnace, and they were just hanging out in the furnace like it was, sitting on a beach. They walked back out of the furnace. Nothing wrong with them. And yeah, says that book of Daniel. Very good story. So, Sean, are we literally licking the like button? Because you guys need to sanitize your screens just, prior to doing that. It's my suggestion. So, yeah. Jesus will rise. I'm kind of confused on your question there. Maybe reword that and try again. I read it twice, and I still don't understand what we're asking there. Sodium fluoride used as a water additive to slow mental process, keep prisoners docile. That's a fact. Prepping plumber. Another fact is, if you've ever gone to any of the water treatment facilities where they take sewage water, they clean it, they dump it back into the public water streams or public water supply, lakes, reservoirs, rivers, etc. When you are at these places, they have truckloads of these giant blue 55-gallon drums that are full of fluoride, and they literally dump it right into the clean water that's going back into the public water system. So yes, sodium fluoride is I forget the terminology it's used, but it is definitely it's bad for you. It's bad for your brain. And I can't remember the term. If anybody knows what I'm trying to say there, I haven't slept enough. But anyway, it's just, the whole country is designed to brainwash, enslave, and kill us. Neurotoxin. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say. Long loving family, neurotoxin. That's what sodium fluoride is, and they dump it right into the water supply. So, yeah. No, I haven't done any Revelation only studies on the channel yet. What I've done is I've started at Genesis chapter 1, and I've just started reading the book, and I intend to read from one cover to the other. Right now we've made it to I just finished Exodus chapter 3, so I got started a couple months ago. I try to do twice a week, but that usually doesn't happen just because of time constraints and things like that. I definitely get the Saturday ones out there, even if I have to stand in the middle of a rainstorm outside next to a Walmart to do it. I'm getting it out there, so that's just how that is. But anyway, let's go into the where are my notes? Go into the bug out railroad. For anybody who doesn't know, I'm going to just give you the basics of the idea. Bug out railroad is basically an underground railroad type of system that we're trying to set up so that people have the ability when they have to, I'm just going to put it that way, when you have to bug out, to have locations to stop over and stay and get a hot meal, locations to pick up supplies. Certain locations will let people stay a little longer. Locations are each a little different. And that's the basic idea of the underground bug out railroad. This thing is being kept off grid as absolutely much as possible, with all location information and things like that, communication information, radio frequencies, all of that stuff stays off grid permanently, no matter what we do with the hierarchy or anything else. That being said, we are setting this up as a 501c nonprofit organization to protect the hierarchy from basically the IRS. That's the main reason for that. Other reasons for that include, yeah, we'll get into some of the long-term goals of that, but it's basically a protection thing for the people that are helping set all this up. But it's also going to help with a lot of people talk about a vetting process, and we're having another meeting soon going over security and vetting and things like that. The vetting process probably isn't going to be running background checks on people. The vetting process is going to be more like sending qualified people to individual locations to make sure that individual locations don't have a dungeon in the basement. So that's basically how it was put to me. Yeah, we don't want to have a location on the network that we haven't checked out previously and have, a group of people show up there, and then the group of people end up in a cannibal's basement, and then they're having, grim stew or whatever that happens to be. So this is definitely a good idea for that. Homestead Oss. I do like Homestead Oss. They bought me this hat. Homestead Oss, if you haven't checked that out, please do so. Klinger, yeah, I need to come visit you guys. Just, yeah, if they ever open up the borders again, I'm going to try to schedule a trip. Probably won't be able to afford it, but I'm going to come visit anyway. We'll see. I would love to. I also want to go visit Alaska Prepper, because I've always wanted to see Alaska, and yeah, why not? So, yeah. Soundproof dungeons are probably one of those things that aren't going to hold up to the the vetting process in the when we do it for the Bug Out Network. Soundproof dungeons, probably not the best idea. Soundproof sheds with like chains and whips hanging from them probably won't go over too well. Just your basic 50 Shades dungeon rooms, probably not going to, I don't know. It depends on the people that want to visit. Maybe some people are into that kind of thing. Hey, so why not? Why not? No, Sean, I've never had any desire to go to Canada. Why go to Canada? I mean, what's there to see in Canada besides snow and trees? I mean, yeah, just me. Yeah, I'll come see you, Sean. I assume you don't have a dungeon in your basement. I'm just going to assume that. Maybe I need to send somebody up there to vet you first. Just checking, I don't know. Do you have a dungeon in your basement, or even have a basement? Maybe you have a dungeon in a bedroom. I don't know. I mean, people can have dungeons. Oh, Jesus will rise. You said you replied. I'm going up. I'm looking for it. I read my Bible and forgot what I read. I seen that. Yeah, I have that problem as well. Is that the comment that you were referring to? Reading your Bible and forgetting what you read? If not, just post it in all caps again. I'll try to pay attention to the chat and less looking at the camera. So, yeah. Klinger, I already know you got a dungeon in your basement. You don't even got to tell me. So, yeah, I know it's there. Everybody, Klinger's got a dungeon in her basement. So you keep that in mind. I got a dungeon in mine too, but never mind. Just never mind. Anyway, yeah, I'm watching the chat. Just post it in all caps because, yeah, I have issues reading the chat sometimes. I get to talking, I look at the camera, I'm reading my notes. I don't see the chat as often as I should. I'm not looking. Well, I am looking forward to the day when I have 50,000 subscribers, but I'm not looking forward to the day where I'm trying to keep up with the chat like you see over at Angry Prepper or Alaska Prepper or even Prepper Nation, because those chats just are insane when they're doing live streams. So yeah, Klinger, no basement, but yeah, I knew it. I'll compare never mind. Let's just say I own certain implements, and I'm not going to go into it on a video. But, yeah, let's see. And I don't wear them personally, but we have certain jewelry that looks a lot like something a dog would wear. And yeah, yep. That's some merch I should post. Let's see. God and Family Guns. Nope, I've never heard of that one. Send me an email on that one. I will definitely do that. Klinger, I have a question for you while you're in the chat. I need a morning mod. Are you interested? Let's see. Fluffy handcuffs. No, my handcuffs are not fluffy. I have Smith & Wesson brand. They're black and completely made out of steel. So, I mean, yeah, the handcuff, one of the handcuff keys is on my key ring at all times. And I'll show it to you right here just because there it is. Handcuff key, Smith & Wesson brand. Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to click the button for you. There you go. Now you're blue. Yeah, it'll take away the green, but you'll still have the gremlin. But where was that question? I'm scrolling up. Did I miss that question again? Let's see. I missed it again, didn't I? I see M. Didn't. Yeah. Yep. I'm scrolling down. I didn't see it again. I keep missing it, don't I? I'm probably missing it. I get to talking and I'm missing it. Yeah, I think John fell asleep. He was in here talking about he was awake and then no more talk. So I think he's just disappeared. He's completely disappeared. He's probably snoring right about now. I bet you he snores. I bet you he does. I don't know from personal experience before you start making Brokeback jokes, but I'm just guessing. Anyway, back to the Bug Out Network. Yeah, go up. I replied again. You forgot. I just replied again. Let's see. I'm going up. I'm going up. I'm looking for another reply. I see LOL one more time, and I'm scrolling down past that, and I don't see another comment from you. Yeah, I don't see anything. I think you're messing with me at this point. You're messing with me, aren't you? Yeah, you are. Oh, look, there's Prepper Nation. He woke up. Man, whatever you saw, I didn't see it. I'm telling you, I scrolled through everything. I think you're just messing with me. I really do. You just got me scrolling through my chat, and yeah, probably. I wouldn't put it past you. I know what kind of trickster you are. Let's see, Prepper Nation is writing. He is Lake Fury or Prepper. Yeah, I almost said survival because they blended together. But Lake Fury Prepper, good morning. No, forget it. Do you believe in God or you religious? I believe in the Father. I believe in Yeshua the Messiah, and I am not religious whatsoever. Not religious. I will not claim any religions. They all got it wrong. That's all I'll say about religions. I'm just a guy who reads his book and does what it says. And the book he reads is this one, the Scriptures. Yeah. I also have a Jewish study Bible coming because it's going to help me with my Bible studies. I also use a program, just to mention, it's called eSword, E-Sword, completely free program that helps compare different versions of the book. And it does have the scriptures pre-programmed into it. So anybody who doesn't have a copy of the scriptures, you can read it just by downloading that program, or you can find it at Bible.com. But anyway, going into the long-term goals real quick of some of the long-term goals. There's quite a few of them, actually. But some of the long-term goals of the Bug Out Railroad or the Bug Out Network is, obviously, we're setting up a web page that should be up sometime this week. The web page is at first primarily just for donation purposes and basic information on what we intend to set up. Basic information. Nobody's names are going to be on there. It is going to have a member section at some point and a subscription type section at some point. But yeah. One of the goals we have, another thing we are trying to set up this week is going to be a bi-weekly newsletter going out to provide information on the Bug Out Railroad. Also, this is going to be basic information. It's not going to have any locations included. It may have what states we have locations in, but we are not going to have the actual locations listed. I am in Indiana as well. What part are you in? And I'll probably miss that reply too, but I'll try. Yeah, I apologize for missing comments if I do. I just need, somebody to sit next to me and proofread comments. I need Victor. If I had Victor sitting here to read all my comments for me, I wouldn't miss anything. I really would. Yeah, Heartland Survival. Send me an email, man. Or haven't you already? Email's in the description, by the way. If anybody wants to email, grimsurvival2@gmail.com, but it's also listed in the description. How you join the network and offer supply. I'm going to have all that information up on the website on how to join and offer supply once the website gets up. Currently, just sending me an email is how most people have been getting on the list, but we're going to have an actual membership joining type of platform so that we can keep track of everything, because part of the vetting process is going to be to track all the supplies that are at locations so that we know the supplies are there, the supplies are readily available for people using the network, the supplies aren't being stolen or used or, various other things that could happen. So, yeah. All right, so going into a couple more of the long-term goals, Lafayette, Indiana. Terre Haute, Indiana. I'm closer to Lafayette than I am to Terre Haute. Terre Haute is about an hour and a half drive to me. Lafayette's probably about an hour drive from me, something like that, somewhere in that vicinity. So I do usually always get back in my email, although my email takes probably a day, possibly two, before I respond to it. But on my Discord server, you'll get a much faster response from me. You probably get a response within, an hour or two on Discord. If I see the comment, or if you tag me in the comment on Discord, so I'm sure to see it. Or if you just send a private message over Discord, I'd get those even faster. So if anybody wants to contact in that particular manner, you can. I do hold the right to ban anybody who's acting completely insane and trying to get my phone number, like that one guy, but that's just, yeah. Yep, Heartland Survival, I completely agree, and that is part of the thing is don't bring your phone when you're setting up certain aspects of the location. It just started raining really hard, and I can hear it hitting the window behind me. Jesus Will Rise. We are setting up an Indiana mag, actually. We have an Indiana group forming. We have about 5 members, and we are actually found another Indiana group, and we're trying to combine them, and that would give us probably somewhere in the vicinity of 20 members. It's just a matter of I'm the one setting this up, and I need to delegate that to somebody else because I'm too busy doing all these other things to keep track of all of that. So yeah, you do need a GPS. Well, you don't technically need a GPS if you know mapping and you know compasses and things like that, but you can set up check-in locations, not actual supply cache locations with your GPS. So the check-in location isn't where you should be storing your cache or your supplies. Check-in location is just where people show up so they can be led to the supplies or the location. So yeah, check-in locations are perfectly fine to take your phone there because you do need a way to get the coordinates in the location. So that's what the phone is for. But when it comes to burying your supplies or hiding your supplies or your cache or whatever you're doing, definitely don't take your phone or any kind of GPS with you. Write out one of those maps on piece of papers like pirates do. X marks the spot, something that particular manner. So yeah, Jesus will rise. And anybody else interested in joining the Indie Mag that we are setting up or getting set up here, just send me an email, same email in the description. Make sure you title the subject line Indiana Mag so I spot it. And then I will get your email on the contact next time we have a Skype meeting or one of the in-person meetings that the other group's been doing, and we combine all this. And that will definitely be the way that I get you involved in that particular thing. Josh the Prepper, good morning. How's it going? So anyway, like I keep trying to do, back into the goals. Yeah, PVC pipe and zip ties. Yeah, PVC pipe is a good way to set up a cache. I also recommend 5-gallon buckets with gamma seal lids. That's a good way to set up a cache. You can do it in ammo cans. I mean, so one of the long-term goals, that being said, of having this network and having the hierarchy of the network and the treasury of the network per se, is we are going to attempt to unify all of the supply caches and all the supplies at all the locations so that we have the exact same supplies at every single location. Another thing we are trying to do is standardize all the radio communications at all the locations. And if we have a treasury per se and funding for this, we will be able to take radios like this one or even CB radios, and we'll be able to pre-program those with all the necessary frequencies that are needed. And we'll be able to send these out to individual locations, and maybe, depending on the funding involved, sending them out to network users. So everybody will have a radio that is on the same frequencies that it needs to be. And you'll know which frequency you need to be on, depending on which location you are on, or which channel, should say, depending on which location you are at. So not every location will use the exact same channel, obviously, but all the channels will be pre-programmed into the radio, and you'll just, you'll have a little guide at the check-in location of what channel you need to go to and what you need to say when you get to it. So yeah. Can satellites do ground penetrating radar? I haven't looked into that, but I would assume so, because aircraft can. And if an aircraft can do it, then obviously satellites have that capability. It's just a matter of if they have launched satellites with that capability. I would assume so. So I wouldn't put it past them. So ground penetrating radar, that takes quite a bit of time to scan areas, and you can do things that will help with ground penetrating radar if you are burying supplies or self-defense tools. You can put rocks on top of it. You can put a dead animal on top of it. You can put rocks and a dead animal on top of it. And when they're doing the ground penetrating radar, it's just going to look like a rock. It's not going to look like a bucket. I mean, and that's my suggestions when you're burying something like that. Throw some rocks in there. If you have the ability to put a small animal that has deceased or a large animal that has deceased, bury that there too. Or yeah, something along those means. That'll definitely help with ground penetrating radar if you're worried about such things. Frankly, I'm not, because they have to cover such a large area to find anything, and things really small like that are not going to stand out that well with how I've seen the current technology. So yeah, satellites can detect metal deposits as well. That is a good point, and that is why I suggest PVC pipe or plastic buckets for burying your cache. So So we haven't gone into that Heartland Survival, how often we need to check it to make sure it's still good. I mean, if you secure it properly, then you shouldn't have to check it, but maybe once every 6 months, maybe. And that just depends on the supplies we're going to add in there. So we're trying to uniform all the supplies in the caches too. The basic three things we're going with at the start: food, water, medical supplies. Those are the basic three things. Obviously, cutting tools. I do have, thank you, Hobo Jesus, for sending me that. I have a couple boxes of blades. This is one of the ones that came in the box that's just sitting on my desk. There's also a different one that I didn't pull out of the box that's sitting somewhere in the box, wherever the box is, which is in a room with a bunch of other boxes currently. And we're going to be adding cutting tools. Eventually, if the funding comes in for the group, we want to add basically the 10 C's along with food, water, and medical to every supply cache. That is the ultimate goal. Another goal, long-term goal for the group, is to actually purchase property within the group, property for permanent bug out locations. Now, some of the ideas that were thrown around were small houses, or tiny houses, I guess is what you're saying, converting a shed into a livable space per se, and making plots on certain bug out locations or certain pieces of land that are used as bug out locations. One suggestion is those plots, we could actually sell each individual plot with a pre-set up bug out location. Then all you have to do is supply it. We're still going over these ideas, and obviously these are long-term goals. This isn't going to happen really soon. I mean, it depends on if this network really takes off or not, and how soon the network takes off. But we are still in the setup process when it comes to the nonprofit organization. It's basically going to be set up like a social club, and social clubs have different rules they have to follow when it comes to governments doing certain things. So, properties and things like properties, obviously private locations currently, none of this stuff is going to be listed on this because it doesn't have to be. It just doesn't. Yeah. So think of the bug out network as a insurance policy, because there's probably going to be membership fees to this just to help cover some of the costs that we're already seeing with mailing and shipping and things like this, and some of the supplies that we are trying to provide to some of the locations as it is. There's going to be cost to it. So there's probably going to be some type of entry fee or subscription type of system that we're going to set up for this. So what did I miss? Somebody saying email me. Did I miss something? I'm constantly missing something. I get to talking and don't get to reading the chat. So yeah, I'm sorry if I missed something. Eventually, I'm going to have to enable the slower chat. I'm just going to have to. Yeah, we're definitely going to try to set up permanent bug out locations is what I was saying. And that's one of the long-term goals, so that we have, What am I missing? I know I'm missing stuff. People keep saying I'm missing stuff, but anyway, if you have questions or comments, put them in all caps. I will try to pay attention. Say hello to Ruben Messenger. Okay, hello. How's it going? Good morning, Prep and Prep. Again, need someone who can help on ideas how to bug out with a special needs child. Depends on the age of the child. You can do a wagon, you can do a cart, you can do a bicycle with a kid towing trailer if they're small enough, or if they're old enough, just strap them in the seat in the vehicle. If you're on foot, you can get a leash. You can actually just use any backpack that has MOLLE attachments, and you can basically leash them to you. So 12 years old, I would recommend the leash type system. If they are immobile, now that's going to be a completely different topic, and I don't have experience dealing with immobile people. I can think up a few things, but basically, if they have a wheelchair, you're going to be pushing them. Vehicle is always going to be your best bet, always. But in the event you can't use a vehicle for somebody who's immobile, you're just going to have to devise a way. If you can't push a wheelchair, they make rather big wagon style carts. It's like a wagon, and I actually have one. I'll do a video on it one day. it's like a wagon. It has very large mud type tires on it, and it has a big handle. You can pull it behind you. You can strap things to the handle, attach it to a bag, and drag it along with. Obviously, it'd be like a harness type thing that you would attach it to, and it would just follow along with you. There's not a lot of help for people that are immobile. There's just not a lot when it comes to mobility. I mean, we've seen this throughout, history. And there's just not a lot of help to it. So, my suggestions are something you can pull behind you or something you can push. Either way. And that's if you're on foot, obviously. If you're on foot and you're going through wooded areas, whatever you pull behind you or whatever you push needs to be able to go through all terrain. And I know a wheelchair isn't like all terrain. They do make those, though. They also make electric type wheelchair things that you could use, and you could modify these things and put, I don't know, mud tires on them. You could also think of smaller vehicles that you could drive, such as golf carts, go-karts, something like a two-seater type thing that you could drive in an grid down or bug out situation. So yeah, there are a lot of videos on how to modify certain things for people that are immobile on YouTube. So definitely just type that into a search and check that out. Our group bug out location should be in the White House lawn. Now, that's where we were going to hold our prepper convention. Everybody just needs to bring a lock of hair when we go to the White House lawn currently for the new administration, and that's your entry fee. You have to give a lock of hair, and then we can have our prepper convention right on their lawn. So, yeah, PrepperCon 2021. Who's in? ATV side by side, that is a very good thing. That's a very good idea. I agree completely. That would be, I've seen off-road wheelchairs. Hey, I'd like to see one of those. That would be kind of interesting. Anybody have any questions? We are almost to the hour mark here. If you have questions or comments, please put them in all caps and I will try to get to them. Just going into some more of the long-term goals while I'm still flapping my jaws is just being able to, like I said, cover the bug out locations. We're also talking about providing classes for basic survival skills, classes for how to set up, bug out locations, just trying to get training out there for people is one of the long-term goals. Making sure that we have the hierarchy set up in place. The hierarchy basically is going to be a bunch of committees. It's going to be set up very similar to a modern union. It's basically how we're setting it up, like a union. And it's going to have a lot of committees. It's going to have non-disclosure agreements throughout the people that are, in people who have the information. They're going to have to sign non-disclosure agreements. So there you go. That's just going to be how that is. Yeah, no kids allowed at the White House. I think we ought to start putting signs around the building, just outside of their perimeter. No kids allowed, and just leave them there, see what happens. Grim, can you grow a grown man beard? What's wrong with this? You don't like it? I like it. Actually, Hutch, I'll tell you the truth. I haven't shaved in 2 days, and I have a whole bunch of blonde hair right here, and you cannot see it, but it's there. It is there. It's all blonde, completely blonde. I have no idea why. It's really weird. It bothers me too, I got to tell you. Is there a reason we should prep? Am I missing something? My lights are on, my water is running, the grocery store is stocked. Nah, you don't need to prep, dude. Just chill. Just wait for SHTF to happen. We're good here, but no, completely not. You are definitely the one person I would say in the entire chat doesn't need to prep whatsoever. Please don't, as a matter of fact. Just don't. I mean, you're saving, supplies for the rest of us by not doing it. So you're really doing us a favor by not prepping. So please just chill. We got it. We're good. Steve Hall, you have 2 bug out locations that are your extras. Send me an email, grimsurvival2@gmail.com. In the email, just include what state you have these locations in. Let me know in that email that you have those locations, and I will I'll add you to the list. I'll also get you some further information on how to set up a check-in location as well. So, Lake Fury Prepper, your beard doesn't grow right either. Well, you got to shave more. Just saying. Just prep spam. Yep, and then invite Angry Prepper over when you have all that spam stocked up. So, yeah. If anybody hasn't checked out Lake Fury Prepper, you should definitely do so. Just, when you get to Lake Fury Prepper and you're checking out Lake Fury Prepper, make sure you comment on that beard and, give tips on how to grow it. That's just my suggestion to everybody. So I'm going to make a suggestion that was suggested to me by somebody else. I'm going to see if I can find it. It's called Test Boost for anybody who's having problems. What it is an estrogen blocker. An estrogen blocker and a testosterone booster combined into one pill. Now, Angry Prepper talks about this a lot. If you got man boobs or if you're having problem putting on, muscle mass, which, I sit here and I do this constantly. And I have 2 of these under my desk. And I sit here while I'm watching YouTube videos and I'm constantly doing this. Do I look like I'm getting any bigger? No, not whatsoever. Not even a little. So I'm going to try this stuff out just because it might be needed. So if you got your man boobs going on, try out Test Boost, and it was recommended to me by Angry Prepper for helping putting on more muscle mass. So yeah, and more muscle mass is definitely good. I like the trolls. Trolls are fun, actually. I mean, I'll sit here and go back and forth with a troll all day long. Some bro gain, is that a real thing? I mean, Heartland Survival, is that a real thing? Bro gain. I tried Test Boost, made me angrier. Yeah, it does that. Testosterone, until you level it off, will make you irritated, but you have to keep up with it, and it will definitely level you out. And yeah. Chesticles? Really? Really? That's a new term now? We have chesticles? Where has this live stream gone? Man boobs are good for the single men. Why? When you get bored, you have something to play with. First thought that popped into my mind, just saying. Yeah, watch the news. That'll make you angry for sure. How did we get on this topic of man boobs? This is my fault. No, this is Angry Prepper's fault. He did this. He said it in one of his live streams like 2 days ago. I think it was on the Angry Truth channel. And he started talking man boobs. All right, we are getting close to the end here, so I'm going to start doing something in my live streams just because I want to. And what I'm going to do in my live streams is I'm going to open my book and read a random verse just completely out of context just for fun of it, because I'm sure he'll give me something interesting to say. Moobs matter. Okay, yeah, that's not in my book, just so you know. Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 1, it says, dead flies make the perfumer's ointment stink. Ferment a little folly, outweight wisdom, esteem. A wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. So, yeah, that's my verse of the day. All right, we can just open the floor here to talk about man boobs for just until I get bored enough with it or hungry enough to get up and walk away from the screen. So, it does grow. It grows fine. It's just blonde. It's there. It's blonde, and my camera sucks, so you can't see it very well. Yeah, it really is a horrible webcam when you compare it to people who have better webcams. I mean, man, this webcam sucks. So yeah, I am definitely going to replace it as soon as absolutely possible. As soon as possible. So yeah, where are you guys talking about me? Who are you talking about? Don't be talking about me. You can get beard dye. Yeah, but once you do it once, you have to do it every single time. I'll just wait until it all turns gray because it's starting to. If you look down here, I got a couple of them. Yeah, and yeah, whatever. So when it all turns gray, I'm sure it'll be fine. If maybe, I hope. Northern Girl Hobbies sells beard dye. I'll keep that in mind. Grim has merch. So does Gray Man. Gray Man has merch too. I actually have a web store, if you haven't checked it out, that's about to go offline because I can't afford to pay it anymore. Grimsurvival.store. Link is in the description. I have a bunch of junk on there. It's not all of it's junk. Some of it's junk. I'll give you that, but not all of it's junk. Here's one of the things that's on my web store. This is a vacuum seal bag. This coffee's been in here for approximately 3 months. I haven't done anything to it, but throw it around my desk. I've stepped on it a couple times. I've kicked it here or there because it keeps falling under my desk. And this vacuum seal bag has this valve right here. So you don't need a vacuum seal machine to use it. It comes with a little plastic thing. And the plastic pump, you suck all the air out of it. And I'm actually going to start storing medications and freedom seeds, as they're called, ammunition, in bags like this because they work really well. I'm rather impressed with them. So, yeah. I wouldn't know, Klinger, because I don't go around rubbing people's beards to test that. So I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I'll just take your word for it. Man boobs didn't exist until the 70s. It's environmental. I would agree with that. Yeah, I would. That's why are we still on this subject? Cheryl P., God bless and have a very blessed day. Shalom. It's Fuzzy. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. So Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Hormones from the chickens and the cows. They put a lot of hormones in chickens and cows, which is why I suggest an estrogen blocker. My new mag language in writing, we shall all speaketh noodle. Okay. Send me a copy of the dictionary for that language, if you wouldn't mind. The bags. This bag, you can find it, link in the description, grimsurvival.store. I sell those bags on my web store. And those bags are really the only things I've ever sold on my web store. And it's the only thing that's kept it online for the last 2 months because the web store itself has a monthly fee that I have to pay to keep it online. And those bags have kept it online for 2 months. But those bags aren't keeping it online anymore. So that thing's going offline probably within the next week or two. Probably. We'll see. We'll see. Don't forget I got merch. I'm going to see if I still got this on here. I think I got it here. So I got to post this again because I was doing it at the beginning of the live stream and I don't want to forget. So everybody needs to go check out this video. That video is very important. It's information that everyone needs. So please go watch that video. Yeah, Hutch knows what video that is. And that video's hilarious too. I also don't drink milk and I don't put creamer in my coffee. Yeah. You got me Friday? You'll have to remind me because I haven't slept since Friday. Prepper Bunny, thank you for getting the I Will Not Comply hoodie. I got my I Will Not Comply shirt. I have a Grim Survival Gremlins Unite logo wall hanging tapestry on its way to me, and I'm going to hang that thing right there when it gets here. It's a wall hanging tapestry. You can find it on my Teespring. It has the Grim Survival Gremlins logo, which is not the primary logo I use, and it says Gremlins Unite. And yeah, that's getting hung right back there. It's going to be a good backdrop, I think. I hope, anyway. Yeah, I don't like iced coffee, and putting milk in coffee definitely ruins it. I don't use creamer, milk. I don't even use sugar. It's just black coffee. As a matter of fact, this coffee was sent to me by We the People Prepping. Find him on YouTube. This is Double Dead Coffee. Caffeine times caffeine. Double Dead Coffee. I have another bag of coffee sitting next to me that I forgot to put away. This is a Valhalla Java. This was sent to me by Prepper Nation, Valhalla Java. It's not as strong as the Double Dead, so I've been drinking this one when I'm awake enough to not need to drink that one. Prepper Nation also sent me this. This is a coffee horn from Death Wish Coffee. Death Wish Coffee Horn. So that is definitely cool. I do use it from time to time when I'm feeling in a Viking mood. I sent Prepper Nation his Yeti cup. If you've ever seen it that says Prepper Nation on there, I sent him that cup. Yeah. Tommy Salter. Yeah, later. See you later. Shalom. Have a good day. I am going to end the stream here in just a couple of minutes. I'll take a question or two here, so put it in all caps just before I go. Is the Angry Truth about to go live, or is he live or doing something? I got to check now, because if he is, I'm out of here, because I'm going over there too. Just saying. Let's see. If he just posted a video, I'm good with it. But if he's live, yeah, he posted a video a minute ago. Deprogramming Trump supporters. Really? That's the name of the Angry Truth's new video that just went online a minute ago. I'm going to go check that out here in just a second. Josh, send me a text. Just send it right now so I remember, because otherwise I'll forget. Wow, I got a lot of text messages. There we go. Yeah, a lot of text messages. Why do I got so many text messages? I don't know that many people. Anyway, yeah. Any more questions? What are you prepping right now? My focus: food, water, medication. Which reminds me, I found a bunch of fish mocks. And I don't like where I found it, but I'm going to get it from them anyway. I actually found it at Walmart's website. Fish mocks, and it's amoxicillin. They have 500 milligram, 250 milligram. They have bottles of 30, 50, and 100 tablets. The 100 tablet 500 milligram bottle is $30, and I'm ordering that as soon as just because I'm getting low on antibiotics because I had some tooth issues and I took a bunch of antibiotics, so I'm going to order that to have a backup supply. I'm also going to shove a bunch of them in one of these bags. Yeah. What are you prepping? I already read that one. Let's see. Garden seeds. I have a lot of heirloom seeds in vacuum seal containers. I've done a video on it before where I posted the link on where I got them in the description. If you are doing amoxicillin, I don't know what it is, but amoxicillin with the A is antibiotics. So yeah. I'm not allergic to it. I've had it before. Several times, actually. Not allergic to it at all. I'm not allergic to pretty much anything. I can take penicillin, amoxicillin, pretty much any antibiotic. I am allergic to stupidity and rudeness. Those are pretty much the only two things I'm allergic to. So I don't have allergy problems. And yeah, I've always been around cats, dogs. I've had horses. I've had goats. I don't currently have horses or goats, unfortunately. I've been around ducks, chickens, rabbits, and I don't have allergies. I just don't. Yes, Northern Girl Hobbies. When the bottle shows up, I will do a video on it. I had already thought about that, and yeah, I'm going to dump it into one of these. I am, because I'm going to vacuum seal that stuff. So yeah, I'll make a video on that as well. Yeah, I agree with Walmart being the plague. I have not gone into that place in a long time, and the only reason I'm purchasing it from there is because I can't find it hardly anywhere else. And yeah, it's just, I really hate that place, but really what can you do? Because every one of these big stores like this, they have monopolies on supplies that we may need. And that includes Costco, and that includes Amazon. And I don't like none of them, but yeah. No, be charming. I'm never sure I know what I'm talking about. Question everything, especially me. Hillbilly Homesteader 1776 is allergic to laziness. Yeah, I can agree with that one as well. Yep, that is true. Northern Girl Hobbies does have an awesome channel. Go check her out. Also, check out Lake Fury Prepper, Hutch Homestead, Homestead Oss. Check them all out. You should. Heartland Survival was in here. Go check him out too. All right, guys, I am going to go find some food because I'm getting hungry and I'm almost out of coffee. And we all know what happens when I run out of coffee. So I hope everyone has a very blessed day. Shalom, everybody. Make sure, don't do anything I would do because it'd probably get you in trouble. And I will see you guys next time.